2.
Welcome to this week's podcast. Today is Monday, February 10th. It's the first day of spring sports for those of you that are trying out and going out for spring sports. But we are wrapping up the winter season. Not a lot going on this week as far as schedule goes. A couple sports have wrapped up their season. A couple sports are finishing their season. And we're off and running for the spring. Last week, recapping the week, we had boys and girls basketball at Mountain View. Boys traveled away to Mountain View. Girls stayed at home versus Mountain View. Boys lost in a close one, and the girls basketball held home court and beat Mountain View to stay close to perfect in the region. Girls soccer traveled away to Mesa, and boys soccer were at home versus Mesa. Both good games, both really great matches. We had a lot of kids stepping up in the boys soccer match. A lot of good things happening on the girls' side as they push towards the end of their season. On Wednesday, we didn't have anything, but Thursday, our boys soccer team traveled to Valley Vista. JV boys won. I believe varsity boys lost in a close one. I believe the final score was 2-1. Friday, we had everything else going on. We had boys and girls basketball. Boys basketball traveled all the way down to San Luis, took care of business, and swept all three levels. Girls basketball was at home versus San Luis, and only played the two games, the JV and the varsity, and beat both San Luis's JV and varsity at home to finish out the week with a perfect 2-0 record. Girls soccer was at home for senior night against Red Mountain. It was a really close match. Got a little bit out of reach there towards the end, but the girls on their senior night did a great job representing Westwood and our community. Boys soccer traveled away to Red Mountain, ended up tying. I believe 0-0 was the final score, so a very big defensive matchup. We've got one of our defenders on the varsity and one of our goalies for the JV in studio today to talk a little bit about soccer and the season that they had. We've got a couple girls soccer players in the house as well as we recap them. Boys wrestling had their sectional tournament at Skyline on Saturday. We had a lot of kids come really close to qualifying for state. We are a very young wrestling team, especially on the boys' side, so we expect them to make a lot of noise coming up next season. That brings us to what's going on this week, but before we go on to the schedule for this week, we wanted to call in a couple of our athletes of the week and talk to them a little bit about the season, what they're looking forward to, give us a little quick recap, the highs and the lows, and then we'll get into this week's schedule. The first one we're going to talk to is Logan. Logan, scoot your chair on over here. Our new microphone's going to pick this up nicely as you squeeze this chair over. Our first athlete of the week is Logan Wilkie. Logan, how's it going?
Good. It's going really nice.
Awesome. So, Logan, you're a sophomore. You're on the soccer team, and you're one of our primary defensemen. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
So what's the job for those people that don't know a lot about soccer? What's the job of the defenseman? How do you sum up your role on the team?
So really, it's a partnership with my other center back. His name's Alberto. We are supposed to hold the back line, defend the goal, basically protect the keeper from shots from outside the box, inside the box. Basically anything. You have to be smart, you have to be fast, and you have to be strong. Awesome.
So you are definitely you and Alberto are back line. You have a lot of different roles on the team. I noticed you have a lot of the throw-ins, which is good because you got the arms. That's why I told you should do track, right? But you had one game earlier this year that you almost threw it in the goal from the sideline. So that's pretty cool. I think that one day we'll just bounce it off the goalie's head and into the goal, and we'll have our first goal off of a throw-in.
I've actually done that before.
Okay, so I need to witness it. If I didn't see it, it didn't happen. No, I'm just kidding. So talk to me a little bit about the highs and the lows of this season. What did you feel like went really well for us? What are things that we can improve on going into next year?
So some things worked really well for us was this year was the first time that the team actually started bonding this year. Like a lot of the IB kids that are involved this year finally started to interact with the other less not smart but more just other kids on the team. I think the lows were towards the end of the season we kind of stopped focusing as much because we just kind of got overconfident, and I think that's really our only big mistake this year.
Okay. And talk to me about what, as the season comes to an end, what's the goal for next year? What do you feel like we need to do to take that next step next year?
I think it's just to improve the team overall. Our JVs did really well this year. Our varsity did very well in the beginning of the season, and I think our team can only grow from this season.
Perfect. That's a perfect segue to our next guest. Our next guest, we'll have you switch chairs for right now. We're going to call up Jesus to talk a little bit about the JV season. Jesus, how's it going?
All right right now.
It's all right. Just all right. I like it. Okay. So you had a big week this week. I know that you played against Mesa. You played against Red Mountain. How did you feel like this week went?
It was good. Had a few wins, had a few losses. Thought we could have done better against the Mesa High game.
Okay. And you had a big role in our win against Red Mountain on Friday. Had a lot of saves.
Yeah.
So you definitely had the good hands to block it. So talk to me a little bit about the JV season. How did you feel like it went? I know we won a lot of games. How do you feel like the JV season went for you guys?
It went pretty well. We only lost 2 games against Hamilton and tied against Dobson and lost against Mesa. But I think this next year we could do better if we improve and bond a little bit more quicker. And yeah.
Awesome. So obviously some big goals from our soccer programs going into next season. A lot of hard work going in the off season coming. Do you plan on playing any soccer here in the summer, or what's the plan to get ready for next year?
Yeah, might play some for some random teams.
Just kind of fill in where you're needed and I'll do all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
A great idea. So talk to me about some of your teammates. Who do you think we should be looking out for next year other than yourself, making that jump from JV to varsity hopefully next year? Who else do you think we should be looking out for?
Marvin Lira.
Okay.
And my defense, Anthony. But I call him Anthony, but his actual name is John.
Anthony and John. All right. Makes perfect sense. So good job this season. Great job finishing strong. I know, like I said, we had a great JV season. Definitely you're a very worthy player to be named Athlete of the Week along with you and Logan. Been kind of the backbone of our programs. Good luck to you guys and keep grinding and getting ready. Let's take our soccer programs to the next level next year. Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So we're going to switch spots. I'm going to have you switch over here. We've got our first guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Janie Dale. I play for varsity soccer. I play for JV too, but.
All right, so she plays a little bit of both. She's the jack of all trades. She plays a little JV soccer, a little varsity soccer. You're a junior, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about the season. Give me kind of some high points, some things that you think we can do better. Obviously, we're hoping to have you back next year, right?
Yeah.
All right,
sure.
so tell me a little bit about the high point, the low point. What do you feel like what was some of the good things we did this year?
So I feel like we started out pretty strong this year, and then we kind of hit a big dent, and we had an 8-game losing streak. But even while we were losing, we were still getting better, and we were still growing as a team, and so it was still fun. And we ended our season pretty strong. So.
Awesome. So what do you think we need to do between now and next? Let's see, it would be November to take, like I was talking to the boys, to take that next step for our soccer team.
Well, this season we actually had 10 seniors, so next season's going to be really different. It's going to be a hard transition, but as long as we're all working on improving and getting better, I think that we can pull it off and do good next season.
Awesome. So you mentioned you played a little JV, played some varsity. You were kind of, a good role player. You got in a lot of games so that you could kind of develop for next year. Same question I asked Jesus. Give me some names of some people we should be looking out for next year on the varsity soccer field.
Next year for sure, I think we should be looking out for Mel Ortiz, my mid forward Giselle, our defender Ellie. I think those girls will be a big impact on our varsity team next year.
Awesome. Great job. Obviously, we had a good season, a little bit of ups and downs, but I think that we can take the next step. What's your plan between now and November to get ready to go?
I don't have much of a big plan, but I just know I need to stay in shape and keep working and improving myself to make my team better.
Awesome. So keep developing those skills. Be that leader that we need, right? Get those girls in the weight room, get them stronger, get them faster. I want to see some buff people just hitting rockets off their legs next year.
We want to see it too.
Awesome. So good job. We'll have you switch. Our last athlete of the week, our only senior of the group. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a senior. I'm Scout Bailey.
Scout Bailey. So you had senior night on Friday. How was that?
Yeah, it was really good. Super emotional.
Super emotional. I know. When I remember when I was a senior, it's like that bittersweet. Like you're like, oh man, I don't want this to end, but I'm kind of glad that I'm moving on to the next step. Yeah. So first question out the gate, not even about soccer. What's the plan for you after graduation?
I'm not really sure yet. I have a few ideas, but I'm looking into doing an international language program where I go and teach English for 3 months in a different country.
Awesome.
So
that is awesome. Do as much as you can, as much as you can, and go as many places as you can, because your youth never lasts forever. Language is obviously cool. I'm a very big fan of language, as I was a Spanish teacher in the classroom for 9 years. So talk to me a little bit about the soccer season. Talk to me a little bit about a couple of your other senior teammates. Who really stood out to you this year? Who kind of stepped up their game and led us as seniors?
I think for sure Brenda. She's one of our captains, and she for sure carried the team a lot. And I'm pretty sure she's planning on playing at MCC next year. But she's super good and super good example to all the other girls too, on and off the field.
Awesome. That's exactly what we want out of our Warriors and that's exactly why I picked you guys. Good in the classroom, good on the field, good leaders. That's what we want to build here at Westwood. So talk to me a little bit about the season. Obviously didn't end the way we wanted it to end, but as we go about it, what do you feel like was the most positive thing for you took out of this season?
I think for sure our girls had a closer connection with each other than we have in past years, and so we all bonded really well together as a team. And we started off really strong, and then towards, like Janie said, we kind of just hit a wall. But I think that's always something we can learn and improve from for next season.
Right, and that's what it's all about, is kind of getting those experiences. Those younger players are getting those in those games, and they're learning from those little losing streaks, how you can not fall into the same stuff. But obviously you and a lot of the seniors laid a lot of groundwork for this next couple year, and hopefully like we've been saying, we can take that next step into where the program needs to be. Congratulations on your senior year.
Thank you.
Congratulations on being one of our athletes of the week, our last soccer athletes of the week in studio with us now. So good luck to you in whatever you do, and thank you for representing Westwood. All right, so to finish up the week schedule, not a lot going on. Today, Monday, like I said before, our spring sports begin. So if you're interested in track, if you're interested in tennis, if you're interested in softball, baseball, boys volleyball, sand volleyball, make sure that you attend those tryouts. You talk to those coaches. Make sure you're in the right spot at the right time so that you can be a part of the team. And then also make sure you're done with Register My Athlete so that you're eligible to try out. Tomorrow, Tuesday the 11th, we have our all-day basketball extravaganza versus Skyline, 11 a.m. Tomorrow during school is our Skyline girls varsity game. So students will be able to come into the gym if their teachers let them. Don't ditch class. But you'll be able to go to the gym at 11 a.m. and watch our varsity girls take on Skyline as they try to close out with a region championship there. Later in that same evening, boys basketball plays Skyline, hosting their senior night. Senior night is going to start around, I want to say 5:30 or 6. If you're interested in going to their senior night, that's also going to be a good senior night for cheer and palm as they cheer one last time in the gym. Shout out to the seniors, like I said from last week. Shout out to boys soccer, who had their senior night on Tuesday. Girls basketball had their senior night on Tuesday. Girls soccer, their senior night on Friday. Shout out to all the Warriors as they close out their high school career. Good luck to you guys in your future endeavors, and go represent Westwood the best way you know how. Wednesday, Thursday is nothing going on, but Friday is the start of girls wrestling state. Girls wrestling will be up in Prescott at the state wrestling match. I'm looking forward to driving up there and spending some time watching our girls wrestle. That will be on Friday and Saturday. Other than that, not a lot going on. We'll have a little bit of a break as far as stuff going on. We will be hosting a playoff game for girls basketball either on Thursday the 13th or on Tuesday the 18th, depending on where we land in the final seed. But good job to our girls basketball team as they have their last game today, and they will qualify for the state tournament due to rankings. Good job to them. I believe right now they are 7. If they win tomorrow, when they win tomorrow, they should stay in the top 8 and host a game on Tuesday the 18th, which will be awesome to have a playoff game hosted in our own gym. Again, last reminder, if you haven't already, you're almost a little too late. Get with Miss Lee in the front office and turn in your Register My Athlete, your doctor's notes, different things like that. Make sure you stay involved. Do as much as you can. Go play some sports. Come out to esports. Come out to Mr. Ross's room. Try your hand at some esports if you're into that type of thing. But we will talk to you next week, where hopefully we'll have a preview of this next week's state playoff for the girls basketball. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll talk to you next week.